One of the most important things to think about when considering your options to continue your education after high school is how much it will cost. Fortunately, there is help with paying for your education for eligible students through institutional scholarships as well as federal and state financial aid programs. To determine eligibility for financial aid programs, students will need to complete the free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA, which is available in both English and Spanish. Full eligibility requirements are available for review at studentaid.gov. To be prepared for the FAFSA, you will need to have the following: your Social Security number, a parent's Social Security number if you are a dependent student according to the FAFSA, your driver's license number if you have one, your alien registration number if you are not a United States citizen, tax information for the appropriate tax year which will be noted in the FAFSA, such as an IRS 1040 form or a W-2 if applicable, records of untaxed income and other asset information. Note, other information may be required for your FAFSA. We encourage you to create an FSA ID prior to completing the FAFSA as well. Your FSA ID is a username and password that allows you to log into the FAFSA and several other federal financial aid websites, as well as provide electronic signatures on the FAFSA for quick processing. Parents of dependent students who are United States citizens will also need an FSA ID separate from their students. If you are not able to create an FSA ID, rest assured that there are other ways to sign and submit your FAFSA. You can create or update your FSA ID at studentaid.gov. To complete the FAFSA, you will need to go to studentaid.gov and scroll over Apply for Aid and then click on Complete the FAFSA form. We encourage students to complete the FAFSA with their parents' assistance if they are a dependent student, according to the FAFSA. For this walkthrough, we will be using a demo FSA ID for a dependent student. After submitting your FSA ID and reviewing the information in the pop-up box, click Accept. For this demonstration, we will be completing the 2022-2023 FAFSA. The FAFSA for subsequent years will be available annually on October the 1st. After creating a save key in case you need to leave and come back to the FAFSA before submitting it, you will have the opportunity to review resources available to assist you with the FAFSA if necessary. The FAFSA is divided into 7 sections, some longer than others. The first section is Student Demographics. In this section, you will input and confirm your name, date of birth, Social Security number, contact information, residency and citizenship status, as well as other eligibility criteria and some student educational background. On the student education page, note that if you will be graduating or have recently graduated high school, you will most likely not be pursuing a graduate or professional degree. For the question asking what your college grade level will be, if you will be graduating or have recently graduated high school, select Never Attended/First Year, even if you have completed dual enrollment classes. The following page confirms that the student is required to be registered for selective service. Most male students eligible for federal financial aid must be registered for selective service. If you are a male and have not yet registered, you can select the option for the FAFSA to register you. Wrapping up the student demographics section are questions about the student's driver's license, state and number, if applicable, and questions about any experience with the foster care system and some parental educational background. Section 2 of the FAFSA is titled School Selection. This section inquires about both the high school that a student has graduated or will graduate from, as well as what colleges and universities the student would like financial aid eligibility information sent to. You may list up to 10 colleges and universities on the FAFSA at once, but are not required to submit that many. To find a college or university, you may either search by name or input that institution's FAFSA school code. In addition to selecting colleges and universities, you will also indicate your housing plans, whether you plan to live at home with your parents, on campus, or off campus, not with your parents. The third section of the FAFSA will determine a student's dependency status and whether parental information will be required. The FAFSA will ask a series of questions, including the student's current marital status, whether the student will have children or other dependents, whether the student has been active duty or a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, whether the student has been an orphan, in foster care, a ward of the court, an emancipated minor, or otherwise have legal guardianship placed over them by a court, or if the student is currently homeless or at risk of being homeless. If the student answers no to all of these questions, they will be considered a dependent student and the FAFSA will require parental information. If a student answers yes to any one of these questions, they will be considered an independent student and will not be required to provide parental information. Note, if a student is considered a dependent student according to the FAFSA, but is not able to provide parental information, please contact your institution's financial aid office for more information. Section 4 is titled Parental Demographics and is similar to student demographics in scope. First, the FAFSA will help you determine whether to include a single parent, both parents, or a combination of biological and step parents on the FAFSA based on your unique situation. For this example, we are going to indicate that our demo student's parents are currently married. Next, you will need to provide biographical information for parent 1. Remember from the student demographics section that you listed your parent's educational background. Be sure to match parent 1's information here with which parent you listed as parent 1 there. Like the student demographics section, you will list name, social security number, date of birth, and contact information. After completing this for parent 1, do the same for parent 2. The next page confirms your parent's state of residency, followed by information about any individuals who may live in your parent's household. Normally, this would include siblings, but can also include other family members or dependents. The final part of Section 4 confirms the household size and how many dependents will be in college for the academic year for which you are completing the FAFSA. For Section 5, you will be submitting parental financial information, including income, taxes, assets, and other information as applicable to your parent's unique circumstances. It is important to pay close attention to the tax year the FAFSA is requesting. The 2022-2023 FAFSA used 2020 tax information, but the 2023-2024 FAFSA will use 2021 tax information. The 2024-2025 FAFSA will use 2022's tax information, and so on. For this example, we are going to indicate that our demo students' parents file taxes jointly for the tax year in question. Many tax filers will have the opportunity to use the IRS data retrieval tool, and it is recommended if available. The IRS data retrieval tool will automatically and accurately download a significant portion of the relevant income and tax information from the IRS onto your FAFSA. You will need a parent's FSA ID to access the IRS data retrieval tool. If you are not able to use the IRS data retrieval tool, you can use your tax documents to input the relevant information manually. Notice that the FAFSA indicates where you can find the relevant information for each question on your tax documents. Your parents will be asked for their adjusted gross income, their individual income from work, their federal income tax amount, and other relevant income information from specific sources. If you have questions about what you should report on the FAFSA, more detail is available by clicking on the question mark icons next to each answer box. There will be more than one page of questions about specific types of taxed income, then a page inquiring about untaxed income sources. Remember, the question mark icons are there to help if you need them. Wrapping up the parental financial section, The FAFSA will ask if your parents' total current assets exceed a specific amount. The amount will be determined by information previously submitted in the section. If your parents' assets do exceed the amount, answer yes and then complete the additional questions appropriately. If your current assets do not exceed that amount, answer no and move on to the student financial section. In Section 6 of the FAFSA, you will be submitting financial information for the student, including income, taxes, assets, and other information as applicable to you, the student's unique circumstances. If you, the student, file taxes separately from your parents, you will need to indicate that and follow the same steps as in the parent financial information section. If you are not required to file taxes and chose not to, you will indicate will not file, then answer the following questions appropriately. For this example, we will indicate that our demo student did receive a small amount of income but was not legally required to file taxes and chose not to. Naturally, they will not be eligible for the IRS data retrieval tool, so we will need to input their information manually. The FAFSA will ask if a student earned income from work. If so, you will need to specify how much. If you did not work or earn income from work for the tax year in question, simply put $0. Next, the student will be asked if they received any income from additional specific sources. Like with the parent financial section, there will be multiple pages of specific non-work income sources. Remember, the question mark icons are helpful to determine what you must report. Wrapping up the student financial section, the student will report their current assets as applicable, including how much money they have in cash, savings, and checking, net worth of any investments, and current business and farm net worth, if applicable. In the seventh and final section of the FAFSA, you will begin by reviewing the information you've submitted for accuracy. The following page, you will read and agree to FAFSA terms and then use your FSA ID to sign the FAFSA. If you are a dependent student, your parents will also use their FSA ID to sign the FAFSA. If an FSA ID is not available, please note that you can explore other options to sign and submit the FAFSA. Upon conclusion, you will receive an email confirmation from Federal Student Aid. After a period of time, you will be able to contact the colleges and universities you sent your FAFSA to so you can confirm they have received it and determine if there are any additional steps to take. Remember, the FAFSA can be different and unique for each student depending on their individual circumstances. Be sure to read carefully and pay close attention to the questions and prompts within the FAFSA. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact the Financial Aid Office of your chosen college or university.